What is going on, folks? We're live on Assyrian Nomad. Well, it's coffee time. I thought I'd come online here for you guys a little bit. I have some things I want to get off my chest and say to you, the people. First and foremost, I want to say hello to everybody. I'm not here to talk about Queen Elizabeth death and all that. I know everybody's talking about that, but I'm here to talk about my life. Where I'm at now in my life, where I'm going, and what I think about life in general. Now, there's three kinds of people in life that I've noticed over the years, and if you guys can hear me, give me a 69. There's people who are positive, there's people who are negative, and there's people who are neutral. You know, there's a lot of people in life that are just neutral. They don't get into religion, they don't get into politics. How you doing, Mike? Nice to see you, brother. There's a lot of people in life that are neutral, you know. They don't get into religion, they don't get into politics, they don't get into sports, they're introverts, they're pretty much loners. They just live their lives, they find a hobby or interest and stay to themselves. Those people, for the most part in life, are usually harmless people. They live their life, and that's the way that they choose to live their life. There's a lot of people that are introverts, you know. They just don't have friends, and they find something to interest them, whether it's politics, sports, a hobby, an interest, whatever it may be. And usually they're ultra introverts. So, you know. Then obviously you have the people that are negative. There's many of those. And you've got people who are positive, which is self-explanatory. Now, I can talk to you guys in a neutral setting, I can talk to you guys in a positive setting, or I can talk to you guys in a negative setting, but I choose to be positive. Now, do I have to prove anything to anybody on social media? People say a lot of things about the Lisa Marie, for example. They say that they can make anything up and say that van is in a junkyard, but the van's sitting here behind me. They could say the transmission fluid is leaking, but the power steering fluid is leaking in reality. They could say a lot of things that are not true. Now, do I got to saying by no, I don't have to prove anything to anybody on social media. Why? Because the people that talk about me on social media, how you doing, Lisa? They don't pay my bills, they don't pay my life, they don't finance my life, they don't support me financially. So, how you doing, William? So, in reality, in a nutshell, I don't know any of them an answer. I don't have to prove anything to them or anything. The only people that I've got to prove anything to, and I've said this before, are people who donate to me, who have given me money in the past, or my true fans that have been watching me for years. Now, I know a lot of people call me Elvis Travels. I've decided, actually probably a couple of years ago, it's been more than a couple of years ago, actually 2-3 years ago, that I just wanted to stop being an Elvis tribute artist. I still like singing Elvis songs, but I just thought it was time to move on. Was an Elvis tribute artist from about 2006 all the way to literally about 2020. So that was about 14 years of doing that. And I just kind of lost interest in it. And I thought it was just time to move on and do something else, you know, and just get out of that. It was fun while I did it, but at the same time, it was just a little hobby. And I just realized that I like to sing Assyrian songs more than Elvis songs, and I just started singing more Sergeant Gabriel songs and stuff like that. Hey, how you doing there, William? Nice to see you. But anyways, so yeah, now, for example, trolls always ask me to prove things or say things about me that are not true. They say that I never cook in the van. I'm actually cooking some Tony Chashirs or Chacheris, however you want to pronounce it. Red beans and rice, and I've got some andouille sausage from this company in somewhere in Wisconsin called Oosingers. I fried that up, browned it up a little bit, threw in some something quick like a packet of red beans and rice. See how it comes out. I don't know. I tried the Zatarans. I didn't like it that much. I think the Louisiana name brand red beans and rice was much better. I know Zatarans is readily available to everybody, but I went to one of my favorite grocery stores in the Chicagoland area. It's called Woodman's Grocery Store, and they carry the Tony Chashiris and the Louisiana name brand. And I think that they're better than the Zatarans. I don't know. The Zatarans, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just it's not as good as the Louisiana name brand or Tony Chashirs. And I bought some Louisiana brand hot sauce too. I was going to get some green Tabasco sauce. I like the jalapeno Tabasco sauce. The jalapeno is not as hot as the cayenne. I kind of like it. How you doing, Janice? Nice to see you. So anyways, I could prove right now to the trolls that I'm cooking in my van. I actually started cooking out here, but I'm finishing it up in the van because my stove, when there's a lot of wind out there, it's hard to keep the flame on. So I kind of cooked half of it outside, got the flame up, got it to a boiling point, and then I put it on low heat inside. But anyways, I enjoy being outside. I enjoy living the van life. And a lot of people can say Elvis is living with his sister, or Elvis is living with someone, or Elvis's van is in the junkyard, Elvis doesn't cook, or they make up all kinds of stuff. Anybody can say anything. It's free country, free. Yeah, I've cooked. I don't like to cook inside of the van. I like to cook outside of the van. But many, when you're one person and you're single, it just doesn't make sense to cook, really. It really doesn't. So another issue reason why I don't cook a lot, my refrigerator works on the ambient temperature outside, and the freezer works good, but the refrigerated portion doesn't work as well when it's hot. When it's hot and humid, and so I really only have a freezer in the van that works when it's this hot. When the temperatures cool down, the fridge works great. One thing that Colleen actually got right about my van, believe it or not, I don't think she has said, my air conditioner finally went out on me on the top of the roof. Years ago, if you guys remember, if you were watching me when I was in Yuma, Arizona, the Freon leaked out of the air conditioner. And those rooftop ACs, they're sealed units, so you really can't refill them with Freon. But I had it done in Yuma, Arizona, where they found the leak and they sealed it and they put a port in there to refill it with Freon. So I'm going to have it looked at by an RV technician. I think they told me it's either the Freon could have leaked out and they got to reseal it and fill it up, or the compressor went out, or the whatever starts the compressor went out. We'll see. Or I might just get a whole new unit. We'll see what happens. But we'll see where I'm at with that. But I've actually been living most of the summer here with no air conditioning, and it really hasn't been that hot in Chicago this year, and so I've been able to do it okay. And I've saved tons of money on fuel. I mean, just using shade to keep cool and trying to sleep during the nighttime. So I've saved tons of money by not running the air conditioner and generator and all that, running the generator for the AC. But anyways, I'm doing great. Things are getting better for me as far as van life, I believe. The barrel of oil was down to $82 a barrel yesterday, and I got gas in Bloomingdale, Illinois at the Woodman's grocery store for $3.44 a gallon. That's a great price. It went down to about $3.81, and then $3.64, and then now $3.44. I hope it keeps on going down. I hope it keeps on going down under $3 a gallon. It'd be nice to see gas between $2.50 to $3 a gallon like it was before the pandemic, you know. So that's a good thing for van life. The gas prices are going down, and that's a big, big relief in the pocketbook of everybody, especially if you live in the van life. So the rig's back up and running. I got a steering column. I got the column for a great deal in Hammond, Indiana for $30 instead of paying $500 online. And the mechanic only charged me $140 to put it in, so really I was only in $170. And I didn't pay nothing for the tow truck because I have full coverage insurance with towing. So really that only deal pretty much cost me, but it took a while to find the steering column. So that only cost me, you know, 30, 140, about 170, you know, and I was out of the door, so that wasn't too bad. So yeah, it's been a great year for me, and you know, I'm doing great, and I'm planning to see what I'm going to do for the wintertime. Still got a long way to go here. Still got to get through September, October, November, and pretty much December. We'll see what happens this year. I'm going to try to stay in Chicago until Christmas. You know, if the weather gets too cold, hell, I might leave sometime in December, you know. So, but it is what it is, guys. So it's been a good year for me. I don't know about for you guys. I know it's been a tough year for everybody with the pandemic and everything. But to me, it's actually been a good year. I prospered when I was in El Paso, Texas, and I'm prospered here in the Chicagoland area, you know. There have been some setbacks on the Lisa Marie as far as maintenance that cost me some money, but the fuel pump I was ripped off on the road for $3.50, and this wasn't a bad deal, you know. It just, things break down. If anybody knows, you can Google Ford Econoline steering columns. From all years and makes and models, from the 70s to 80s to the 90s to the 2000s, especially the 80s, a lot of steering columns. What I found out from a steering column specialist is that the inside of the column where you shift the shifter, there's a part in there or a mechanism that has pins that keeps the shifter together, and once those pins give way or something breaks down there, then it's hard to shift the shifter. So I might have that part here. I can show you guys. Hold on a second. I'm going to check on my red beans and rice here. Okay, guys, I am gonna get on out of here, guys. No, it's not a shift tube. My van doesn't have a shift tube. That's on the newer models. When they redesigned the Ford Econoline in 1992, they put a whole new steering wheel and van body, and the steering column, steering wheel, everything is different about the 92. And the 92s and up, I believe, have the shift tube and the airbag. This van doesn't have the shift tube. The mechanism to shift the shifter is somewhere else inside of the column, but I don't know exactly what they call it. But anyways, I was lucky I got a column for $30 that was in good shape, and I'm going to get a lot of years of service out of it. The first column I had it put in, it was about 2018, and it's 2022 now, so it lasted about 4 years. The only thing is I don't have cruise control, so eventually I'll have to probably get another column that has cruise control, or somehow get the cruise control fixed. It's really been a pain not having cruise control, but right now it's not really in my budget. I've got to concentrate on other things, but the van's running, and if anybody researches steering columns on Ford Econoline vans, especially 1975 to 1991, the technology of these steering columns, I think, goes back to 1975 or 82. I've noticed that the older vans, they don't have a smooth shifting on the steering column like the newer 92 and up vans. They completely redesigned the whole van in 92. I like the way that the old school vans look, but it's very difficult to find parts for the older vans. And aftermarket and parts and all that kind of stuff. And I've noticed that over the years having this van. So if anybody says that the Ford Econoline is not a good van, they don't know what they're talking about. I've bought this van in 2014, June of 2014. I bought the van with 38,000 original miles. I believe it had 38,000 around that. I've got over 100,000 miles on the van. I've put 60,000 miles on the van. The C6 automatic 3-speed transmission with no overdrive is a good transmission. The engine's great. But I gotta admit, I wish I had maybe a diesel or a 7.4, 7.5, 460, because when you're going up the mountains, you need a little bit more power and torque. And I find myself going up steep mountains at 35 miles an hour because of the engine is just not powerful enough to carry all that weight. And some of these vans came with the 460 engine, I believe the 7.5 liters, 7.5 or 7.4. And diesels are always nice too, but they're impossible to find. Those are really torquey. But really, the only time you need the extra power is if you're going to go up the mountains or if you're going to tow something. But besides that, I don't really need the extra power, And how often am I going through mountains and stuff, And but there's been a lot of people that have owned camper vans that have experienced a lot of transmission problems. Obviously, in the Dodge Ram van, people have been experiencing a lot of transmission issues with the Dodge vans. So I was going to get a Dodge van. I love Dodge vans. I love all kind of vans. Unfortunately, a lot of manufacturers made camper vans on the Dodge platform. I was going to get me a Dodge Falcon van. But all the vans are great. You got to take care of them. And thank God and knock on wood, I haven't had anything major happen. I talked to a transmission guy about changing the transmission oil. I changed the transmission oil on this rig when I bought it in 2014, but one transmission specialist told me, well, they both told me you're not supposed to flush the transmission at all. That'll damage your transmission. One of them said, just don't mess around with changing the fluid filter or gasket. Just keep driving it. But he said the only thing you'd have to change is if the gasket on the transmission pan leaks. The other guy told me it's okay to drain the fluid and put new fluid and put a new filter and fluid. So I don't know. It's the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But you know, it is what it is. Randall Robertson would know. I think he was a Ford transmission guy. He probably would know if you're supposed to or not. But yeah, everybody, you know, talks about this van and they're amazed at how long this van has lasted on the road, all the miles I've put on it. I've been through the deserts, I've been through the mountains, I've been everywhere. You know, this is my home. This is not just a vehicle, it's my home. And when you live this kind of life, you realize that this is just not a vehicle. This is your home. This is where you live, you know. And when your home breaks, you got to fix it, you know. And that's the bottom line. And it's been a great investment. It's been the best investment I've ever made in my life. And I do need to get a detail on the rig on the outside. And you know, but it is what it is. But you know, people. Like I said, a lot of people talk about my van and a lot of other vans, but they don't know what they're talking about, you know? They absolutely don't know what they're talking about, you know? So yeah, after owning this Ford Econoline, a Chrysler Town & Country, charging the fluid and filter at 120,000 miles. Yeah. So people ask, would I recommend the Ford Econoline van? Absolutely, but they do have issues with the steering column. The older ones, you might have an issue with the fuel system, the fuel tanks not venting right to get fuel in there. They've got their own set of problems. But as far as all the vans, it seems like the Chevrolets are really the most reliable that have. I don't hear a lot of people having a lot of breakdowns in Chevrolet vans. They seem to be the most reliable out of all the big three vans, you know, Ford, Dodge, Chrysler, and Chevrolet. I just seem to be, you'll see a lot of major breakdowns with the Dodges as far as the transmissions, the chipping paint. I mean, you got chipping paint in the Chevys too, but there's less breakdowns on the Chevrolets overall from what I've seen over the years compared to the Fords. So, but again, Chevrolet camper vans are hard to find. They're probably the hardest to find camper vans are Chevrolet. Most camper vans are made on the Dodge and then the Ford platforms. So, but it is what it is. You know, all vans are great. Take care of your van. Doesn't matter what you have. Just take care of it, you know. Take care of it and it'll take care of you, you know. And do preventative maintenance, you know. I noticed that the shifter was getting harder and harder to shift, and, you know, I should have, you know, but there's not a lot of people that know how to fix and rebuild steering columns. There's not really a lot of those guys left around. And so if you find one and you're lucky, they might be able to fix your steering column. If not, then you might have to go and get one out of a junkyard, you know. So this is kind of like a heart transplant for the Lisa Marie. I got another steering column from another van, and it gave it life again, you know. But reliability as far as the powertrain, the engine, and the transmission, they've been great, you know. Thank God, knock on wood. And people were asking me, you know, I haven't thought to myself, how long am I going to keep this van? Well, the only thing that makes sense is to just keep on fixing the rig and keep on trucking, you know. And that's the only thing that makes financial sense, you know. You got to fix what you got. Vans are expensive everywhere. And even if I sold this van, it'd be hard to find another van. So it's just easier and cheaper to just keep on fixing your rig and keep on trucking, you know. But don't ever doubt the Ford Econoline van. They're good vans. They have little problems here and there, but they're good overall vans, you know. But as far as reliability, I'm definitely going to probably choose Chevrolet over Ford after experiencing some of the issues that I've had here with the Ford. I never had a vehicle where cruise control went out on me. I never had a vehicle where the steering column was broke 2 times. I've never had a vehicle where I've had issues with getting gas into the gas tank. You know, there's been a lot of issues with this rig over the years that were all design flaws or problems of Ford. And I blame Ford for it. They're beautiful vans, they're great, but when they break down, you know, there's going to be small little breakdowns. It's not going to be a big one. At least they got the transmission and engine right, you know. Ford did a good job on that. So yeah, June 2014. This June has been 8 years of ownership of the Lisa Marie. And this August has been since I've been living in the van since August of 2015. So this August was 7 years of living the van life. It's unbelievable how time just passes by, you know. Anyways, guys, I'm going to pop on out of here. Thank you guys for popping in. Staying positive, looking on the up and up. Gas prices are going down. I hope they continue to go down. That's great for the van life and what I do, and that's great for everybody's bottom line. I hope inflation starts to go down, gas prices start to go down, and things start to get better in the world. Rest in peace to Queen Elizabeth, but I don't know, I wasn't her fan, don't know much about her. That's pretty much all I got to say, guys. I really haven't been keeping up with any sort of a media. I haven't been watching anything but First Amendment auditors just for the fun of it. That's what I've been watching mostly. And one of my favorite ones is Amagansett Press. Amagansett Press, pretty cool guy, but there's a lot of them out there that are cool. I actually created a YouTube channel, but I haven't uploaded any content. But anyways, guys, I'll pop on here when I feel like it, when I, and when I feel like it, when I'm in the mood, I'll pop on here, and I weighed myself the other day. I'm 267 pounds, and I think I was close to 280. I think I was close to 280, but I lost some weight. I'm 267, and I'm not eating as much, and I'm eating healthier overall. So I've been feeling better and being active. But besides that, guys, I'm going to pop on out of here. Thank you guys for coming in, and I hope to talk to you guys later. You might see more of my new friend. She's just my friend, the Assyrian woman, but we'll see. I got to get on out of here, guys. Have a good day, folks.